Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Laura, for those of you that don't know me. Today I am here to talk about the Every Year After TV show, which is based off of a book that I love, Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. And this is a show that I have been genuinely hyping up. Like ever since I heard about its announcement, the casting, it being produced by Amazon, there were so many things to be extremely excited about. And especially coming off the coattails of the Off Campus TV show, which I personally loved and thought genuinely couldn't be better, I was so hopeful that this show was also going to hit the mark and just be perfection. Well, I watched it, and you might notice like, oh, it took you a little bit to post this video. Like I was expecting it to be up closer to when it came out. I was really struggling to finish the show. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was struggling to finish the show. I thought for a second, am I even gonna finish this show? I don't know if I'm feeling it, but semi-reluctantly, I ended up just putting the show on and finishing it a few days ago, mostly because I did really want to film this video, and it's never my intention to get on my channel and speak negatively about something. Personally, I'm more interested in hearing from you guys and like talking as a collective, and that's why I want to make the video. Obviously, you can tell based off my demeanor, didn't love the show, and I have my reasons and we're gonna go over them, but I want to know from you guys, like, did you guys enjoy the show? Maybe you guys saw it in a different light than me. Maybe you have a different experience with the book, so the show feels different. Like all of those things, I want to discuss them and I want to talk about it. So even though I wasn't super into the show and I kind of wanted to give up watching it halfway through, I won't lie, I did persevere through for the sake of talking about it with you guys. So let's get into it. I took some notes and we're gonna discuss things. The first thing that I wanna address is actually the casting, because while when they initially announced the lead 3 characters for this show, I was pretty excited. I thought, okay, like they seem like they would fit these characters. I ended up being massively disappointed, not by them specifically, but by the way the show decided to go about the casting. So let me explain. In the book, the characters, the main 2 characters, I should say, are around 30 years old when they're in the second timeline. And in the old timeline, they are 12 to about 18 years old, okay? So I figured, since the show decided to cast them down to be like 28 years old, I thought, okay, so they're choosing these actors and they're gonna play the old versions of themselves, but they're also gonna play the younger versions of themselves because they wanted to cast them down a little bit. The actors that they picked look pretty young. Sadie and Matt, specifically, the 2 main characters, like they look pretty young. They look like they could be teenagers, but they also are semi-believable young adults. So like I thought with enough like wardrobe and makeup, whatever they wanted to do, they could pull off playing them in both timelines. I thought that's what they were gonna do. But then I get into the show and they actually casted young actors to play them when they were younger. So I was like, oh, okay. Interesting choice. I didn't mind the girl that played young Sadie. I thought she was really good and she looked like a good match. The actor they chose to play young Sam looked nothing like the guy that played old Sam. I'm just gonna put that out there. I don't really know what that was about. I thought young Charlie was casted okay, but the actor who plays older Charlie and the actor that plays younger Charlie are like extremely similar in age. So this is where I'm getting confused, because they decided to use the young actors for only about, I think, 3 years of the younger timeline. And then the older actors started playing those characters at 14 years old. And not just that, but you genuinely could not tell a difference in them from the adult timeline to the childhood timeline. I don't know if I'm just not observant. The only difference there really was for Percy was that she had like a little braid, but she genuinely looked the same because this actress looks very young. So I thought, oh, they wanted her to look young because she's gonna be her when she's young. But then why would you hire child actors to play them when they're young, but only utilize them for 2 years of a larger timeline? Like I thought maybe use the adult actors only when they're like in their final teenage year. Like, I don't know. It felt like a mess when I was watching. Like I couldn't tell between young and old timelines. There's really no defining characteristics of when the timeline shifts. You just kind of have to like understand like, oh wait, okay, yeah, they're teenagers here. You really don't have any other inkling. And the wardrobe and makeup, like it does not help whatsoever. Like there's maybe little tweaks. The guy that played Sam though, like he looks the same in both timelines. Charlie, his hair is maybe slightly different at times. Percy looks the exact same. I just could not wrap my head around why they would decide to split it up in the way that they did. And I thought it was an utter underutilization of the children actors, because they could have played them believably until they were like 16, 17, and they were done by 14, and then it was the actors that are playing them as adults. So I just thought that made no sense, and it made the timelines really confusing, because if you've read the book, it's very reliant on the two timelines, the adult timeline where they're together and they're 30 years old, and then their childhood timeline from when they're teenagers and falling in love for the first time. So I thought it felt more important to have them very separate and feel like two different things. And I didn't feel like the show did a good job of separating them and making it make sense with the actors. I just thought it was kind of a mess. The other thing that just completely destroyed this show for me, and obviously if you haven't finished watching or read the book, like, do that first. This is a big spoiler. But in the books, we obviously have Percy, and Percy ends up cheating on Sam with Charlie. And it's so heartbreaking to her. She ends up fleeing Barry's Bay. She never comes back for years and years and years. And the whole situation is that she comes back, and her and Sam reconnect, but she feels so guilty. She has to tell him. She finally does, and he knew the whole time. Like, Charlie had told him 12 years ago. He had gotten over it. He had come to terms with it. He had forgiven everybody, and it was just like, okay, they're adults now. They can move forward. And not only that, but because he had that knowledge and already knew, their reconnection as adults feels so much more sincere, because it's like there's no secrets between them. He totally understands who she is and what they've been through together, and like he is okay with that, and he forgives her. Okay, great. Love that. And then we have the show, who for some reason decided to make it that Sam never found out about Percy and Charlie, and he finds out for the first time in the adult timeline. Now, I can understand why they would do this, because I get that it's more of a like, ooh, shock factor for a show. Like, shows really rely on like big plot twists, big reveals. I get that. However, in this case, I feel as though it completely wrecks all of the characters, all of the relationships. It totally deflates Charlie's character, by the way, which, let me be clear about Charlie, by the way, who's like my favorite character in this book series. I'm actually much more into his book, One Golden Summer, and we'll get to that. But the whole idea that Charlie kept this secret this whole time was a constant in Sam's life and just never told him. And the show is like really wanting to sell that he's this selfish guy. It shows him having an affair with Delilah, which is totally a random plot that we're going to get to. The showrunners making this change just completely destroys Charlie's character, in my opinion. And it's such an assassination on his character. And it makes me like sick to think that people will watch the show and not understand what he's like in the books. And like, yes, he made mistakes. Yes, what him and Percy did was bad, but I feel like the show just shows him having zero remorse. They want him to look like a bad brother, a bad friend, a bad partner. And it's like, why are we doing that? And then we're setting up for a season 2 where we want everyone to love him. Makes no sense. I also just feel like it totally destroys Sam and Percy's reunion, because like I said in the book, the idea that Sam has already like come to terms with everything and everyone's forgiven and they're adults, they're 30 years old, they're kind of past this like young teenage love, and it's like true love. Like they're coming together and it's like, oh my God, it's been 12 years and we're still in love and this is still okay and I forgive the past. The show just completely destroys that as a concept. And not to mention that in the show, they have Sam with a girlfriend who he's gonna propose to, and then it goes awry, and then he comes and he's like telling Percy he wants to be with her, and that's when she decides to tell him. It was such a mess. It just made no sense to me. It did not feel earned. It did not feel like they had a true like reconnection where I wanted to believe that they wanted to be together again, just for it to be completely emaciated by her revealing the secret. Like, I don't know. I just did not like the way that they went about it. And I just feel like they didn't show that true bond between Percy and Sam, where in the book, when you're reading, you're like, wow, these are two people that are meant to be together. In the show, I did not feel like that at all. I feel like the teenage timeline did them absolutely no favors. It kept showing them breaking up and getting back together and her going off with other boys and him with other girls. Like, I don't remember that happening in the book. If I'm wrong, please tell me, but I do not remember that being like key moments of their childhood. I just don't remember it that way. You really just see them and you're like, oh my God, that's a duo. You see them as like Percy and Sam, you know? And I just feel like the show did not do a good job of showing us that. I feel like they were relying on a lot of really random side plots that I had absolutely no interest in for no reason, like things that did not happen in the book. I understand that when you're building a TV show, you kind of have to rely on other characters at times and have these B plots, but conversely, you need to make the audience care about these characters, about these plots. They wanted me to care about Delilah so bad. This show had more Delilah than I think anyone ever wanted. If I'm wrong, if you disagree with me, let me know. I did not like that she was like a resident of Barry's Bay. I thought that was really weird. Like, oh, this is this girl who like grew up coming and visiting her friend in this special spot, and then she decides to move there. Hated that. Hated the Charlie affair plotline. Did not like that whatsoever. Hated the like Jordy, Chantel, love triangle situation. I don't even know what's going on with that because they refused to like pick a side in that, like even down to the last episode where I thought, okay, like it's very much leaning Chantel Jordy, and they even show Delilah potentially like being with a girl, and then it's like all erased and they're like, wait, it's still a possibility, it could be Jordy. Like, why are we doing that? I did not understand the plot of adding her with the teenage pregnancy. I felt like it added absolutely nothing to her character, and they wanted to have this like redeeming moment where you care about her. She's going through her divorce. I did not care at all. I did not care at all. I don't know if it was the actress. I don't know if it was just like they didn't do a good job of fleshing her out in the adult timeline. Like, I don't know. I was just more irritated by her whenever she was on screen. I did not care. Honestly, though, the moment they decided that her and Charlie were having an affair, I was just fully checked out for her. I was like, I can't do this. And I love Charlie. And that immediately pissed me off about him as well. Because I was like, that's not him. Like, that he would never do that in the book. That's not his character. What do I know? Apparently he would. They tried to add like another layer to Percy and Sam's mother's relationship by having her inherit the tavern. It did not feel believable to me. It did not make it seem like she had this deeper connection with the mother. There was definitely moments where I was like, okay, like maybe they did have this deeper connection when she gets her period for the first time, when Sam breaks up with her that one time and they connect and they like go in the back and make pierogi. Like, it showed a couple moments, but it wasn't really enough to convince me as a watcher that they had this like deep relationship that 10 years later she would leave her whole family restaurant to her in her will. Didn't really feel believable. And again, like, if that was in the book and you have the context of like, oh my god, Percy and Sam are meant to be, they are soulmates, like that's the vibe from the book. The show did not give that. Like, in the show, the concept of them rekindling in their adult life doesn't really feel that realistic. I was like, oh, they were just two teenagers who just constantly could not decide what they wanted, always went off with other people when things went awry. Like, it just didn't really feel like a love connection. So for her to be left the tavern, random side plot that I didn't really care about. And then for all of the drama for Percy and Sam to go through together in season 1, they don't even end up together at the end. Right. And I did finish the show knowing there was going to be a season 2. Like, they announced season 2 and I was like, that's kind of crazy, but whatever. And for me, like, ideal season 2 is just Charlie and Alice Everly, which they did set up. I did kind of like that. They kind of got me a little bit in the end when it showed the picture. Very dramatic with him like falling on the floor and the chest pains, but like, I get it. But for them to not have like wrapped up Sam and Percy, I'm kind of irritated because I don't really want to go back to that. Like, I would rather they were just like, oh, we're back together, yay, and then like they're kind of just like random C plot. I don't really want them as a B plot, but I also really don't want Jordy and Chantel and Delilah. Like, I don't care about any of these characters. I only care about Charlie, and like show Charlie is not doing it for me nearly as much as book Charlie, but it's like I'm trying to like cling to something so that I can keep watching the show for you guys so we can keep talking about it. But like, if I'm being completely honest, I don't really care. And as I said earlier, I don't know if it's just coming off of a show that was so amazing off campus that I was like really high hopes and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be great. But I was just so disappointed. I will say things I did like about the show: great soundtrack. I don't know if they like used all their money on the soundtrack, that other things were lacking, but they had so many great songs, so that was good. And I will say I enjoyed like where they ended up filming. I believe they filmed in British Columbia, so they kind of changed the location, but I thought the lake and the house and like the tavern all looked pretty good, and it was sort of what I pictured when I was reading the book, so I thought that was done well. And it's not even that the acting was bad necessarily. I don't know, I thought everybody was decent. Again, it was just the characters that were irritating me. Percy was so irritating, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. I just felt like she was so immature, even in the adult timeline. And I was like, this is really pissing me off. Like, I don't really think I'm vibing with her. In the book, it's like, I want to see this relationship through, even though she did something bad. It's like, I kind of forgave her. In this show, I'm like, I don't really care. I don't really care. I'm genuinely so curious to hear what you guys thought of the show. If you did finish it, if you only watched some of it, let me know your thoughts down below. I want to have a conversation with you. I want to pick your brain if you loved it. Like, I really want to hear from some of you that loved it, but definitely leave me a comment. I want to talk to you guys. There's so many more exciting adaptations to come this year, so we'll be doing more discussion videos. I'm really excited for The Love Hypothesis. Did you guys see the teaser for that? We need to talk about that. Let me know. But yeah, I'll be back very soon with either some book recs, some adaptation discussions. Let me know what you want to see, and I will be seeing you very, very soon. Bye.